Cary Grant's story wasn't just about glitz and glamour, it was about survival, heartbreak, and resilience. After a childhood marked by devastating loneliness, he carried those scars into adulthood. Love became both his refuge and his greatest challenge. His first major romance with actress Virginia Cherrill began as a whirlwind, but what looked like a picture-perfect marriage quickly unraveled behind closed doors. Their relationship was a storm of breakups and reconciliations, leaving little room for stability. Just 7 months after saying "I do," the couple called it quits. As their messy split played out in courts and press, the darker truths of their marriage began to surface. Cherrill later revealed the shocking reality. Grant wasn't just difficult, he was psychotically jealous and controlling. She claimed he belittled her acting, neglected their finances, and even resorted to physical aggression. Their fiery arguments spilled into the public eye, leading to a divorce that left Cary heartbroken. Years later, Grant admitted his own role in the marriage's downfall, confessing, "My possessiveness and fear of losing her caused the very thing I feared most, losing her." The tabloids painted Cary as difficult and demanding, a reputation that haunted him for years. But the truth was far more complex. Cary's childhood scars had left him longing for stability, something he struggled to find in his relationships. Yet he refused to give up on the idea of love. As Cary's career skyrocketed, so did his relationship with some of the most dazzling women in Hollywood. Each romance seemed like a promise of healing, yet it often ended in sorrow. Among them was Barbara Hutton, the Woolworth heiress. Their shared loneliness drew them together, and for a time it seemed they had found solace in each other. But their union was plagued by public scrutiny and the pressures of their vastly different forts. After 3 years, they amicably parted ways, each left to confront their inner demons alone. Long after their marriage ended, Grant and Hutton opened up about what went wrong. Hutton confessed, "Of all my husbands, he was the one I loved the most. He was so sweet, so gentle. It didn't work out, but I truly loved him." On his side, Grant faced a painful realization. Reflecting on their relationship, he admitted, "I wanted affection, but I didn't realize I had to give it too. A bittersweet truth for a love that couldn't last." Despite their separation, Grant and Hutton maintained a close and respectful bond, especially when it came to Lance Rebenslow, Hutton's son from a previous marriage. During their time together, Grant had grown deeply attached to Lance, treating him as his own child. Even after the divorce, he continued to see Lance and referred to him as his son. Tragically, when Lance lost his life in a devastating plane crash, Grant was heartbroken. Standing by Hutton in her grief, he helped her plan the funeral for the boy they both loved, a testament to the bond they shared despite their own heartbreak. While working on The Pride and the Passion in 1957, Cary Grant's life took a dramatic and heart-wrenching turn. On set, he was captivated by his co-star, the stunning Italian actress Sophia Loren. His feeling for her grew into a fiery, all-consuming passion. Despite being married at the time to his third wife, Betsy Drake, Cary couldn't resist the pull of this forbidden love. Loren, enchanted by the Hollywood legend, reciprocated, at least at first. But as quickly as their affair began, it unraveled in devastating fashion. Behind the scene, Loren was preparing for her own future, not with Cary, but with Italian producer Carlo Ponti. When her plans came to light, Cary's world crumbled. For Loren, the romance was fleeting, but for Grant, it left a permanent scar. He would later describe her as one of the greatest loves of his life, a love that ultimately betrayed him. In this horrid love triangle, there was another tragic figure, Betsy Drake. Cary had married the young actress in 1949 when she was 26 and he was 45 years old. Despite their significant age gap, they supported each other's career. Cary, ever the supportive husband, secured acting roles for Betsy in movies and television. But as time wore on, the cracks began to show. At home, Cary grew distant, retreating into himself and often shutting Betsy out completely. He even hung a "Do Not Disturb" sign on his office door, a symbol of the growing emotional divide. When Betsy tried to bridge the gap, Cary's temper would flare. The affair with Sophia Loren dealt Betsy a shattering blow. Unable to endure the humiliation, she left their shared European residence and boarded back to America. But fate wasn't done testing her resilience. On the journey home, the ship collided with another vessel and began to sink. Betsy narrowly escaped with her life, but her emotional battles were far from over. When Sophia Loren ended her affair with Cary, he returned to Betsy, seeking forgiveness. In a gesture of reconciliation, Betsy, a testament of her unwavering love, wrote a screenplay for them to star in together. Cary agreed, only to cast the female lead as Sophia Loren. It was a cruel twist that left Betsy reeling. After years of infidelity and emotional strain, Betsy and Cary divorced in 1962. Yet their marriage wasn't entirely without meaning. Betsy encouraged him to explore therapy and self-discovery, introducing him to methods that helped him confront his past. But perhaps one of the most unforgettable chapters of Cary's romantic life was his marriage to Diane Cannon, which gave him a sense of fulfillment he had long craved. Their marriage was passionate but tumultuous, marked by arguments and moments of joy. Together, they welcomed a daughter, Jennifer, who became the light of Cary's life. Fatherhood gave him a purpose he had never felt before, and he devoted himself to being the best father he could. But even this chapter wasn't free from heartbreak. His marriage to Diane ended in divorce, leaving Cary to raise Jennifer as a single dad. Despite the pain, his bond with his daughter remained unbreakable. Grant's romantic life was filled with turmoil, but nothing topped his tryst with actress Cynthia Boran. She claimed he was the father of her baby and took him to court. The accusation sent shockwaves through Hollywood, but Cary, ever the skeptic, was determined to clear his name. He demanded a blood test, not once, not twice, but 3 times, insisting on proof. But each time, Boran dodged his requests, only to reveal a shocking truth. She had found a man who looked like Grant, had a baby with him, and tried to trick Cary into taking responsibility. The case was dropped, revealing just how messy Grant's real life truly was. In 1979, Grant found a love that transcended the turbulence of his past. He met Barbara Harris, a hotel staff member who was 47 years his junior. Despite the enormous age difference, the couple shared a bond that endured until his final days. For Grant, it seemed like the ultimate happy ending, a love story worth every twist and turn. But even in his twilight years, Cary Grant wasn't ready to fade into obscurity. In his 80s, he embarked on a personal tour titled A Conversation with Cary Grant. This unique show allowed fans to revisit his iconic career through film clips and intimate Q&A sessions. Yet his commitment to his fans may have led to his most heartbreaking mistake. On November 29, 1986, while preparing for one such show, Grant began to feel unwell. Concerned, he retreated backstage and called for a doctor. The diagnosis was grim, a massive stroke. Doctors begged him to go to the hospital, but Grant, ever the consummate professional, refused. Tragically, the delay sealed his fate. He fell into a coma, and by the time he was taken to the hospital, it was too late. At 11:22 p.m., Cary Grant, the eternal icon of charm and wit, passed away at the age of 82. True to his wishes, there was no grand Hollywood funeral. His ashes were quietly scattered in the Pacific Ocean by his loved ones. A final act of understated grace from the man who had captivated the world for decades. Grant's final years were a bittersweet blend of love and regrets, but the one woman who truly captured his heart on and off screen was Grace Kelly. Their electric chemistry left an indelible mark on Hollywood history, but their story is far from the fairy tale it seemed. To uncover the heartbreaking truth behind Grace Kelly's own journey, her rise to stardom, her tragic love story, and the sacrifices she made, join us for the next chapter in the life of this timeless icon.